this again. I've got my daughter here. Say hello to everyone. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Are you testing it? She's testing it to see exactly what I'm doing because I don't know. While she was gone, I jacked up something on the computer and now it's hard for her to figure out what I've done. So, with that in mind, we're live just to see if we can do anything. Can you hear me at all, Valencia? All right, testing, testing, one, two, three.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, I think we're good. All right, so anyway, we're just going to jump right into this and maybe everybody can then watch this later on the replay. And now we're going to be getting an echo. I know that much. So,
Okay, so
turn
you're
that
good.
off. Yeah, I'm good. Just hang out with me. All right, so this is my daughter, Valencia. Say hello.
Hello.
Okay, thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, so I really just wanted to know how everybody feels with everything. Hey, how are you? I just want to know how everybody feels with everything that's going on with Gail. I said before that it feels like a little bit of poetic justice because both she and Oprah, whom I adore, both of them, I mean, they're nice women, according to what I can see. Um, I just feel like somewhere along the line, something got mixed up. And I do understand that she said she was a little upset at the fact that the network um, took some of the things that she said, misconstrued them, turned them around, and then served them to the public. And I think, hey, it's exactly what goes on all the time, right? It's exactly what goes all the time. You can sit down with somebody, and then later on, after you, let's see, I think Gail is not a woman personally. All righty then. All right. Well, here's what I say. I think that for a while, a lot of people, well, let me just speak from the Black perspective, okay? I think that from our perspective, we don't expect for our own to do this. I hate to say it like this, but this type of public lynching, we just don't. We just don't expect that. We expect for our own to be respectful and to just ask those hard questions. But I think that right now it's a little too soon. I honestly think it's a little too soon. Uh, and so, having said that, I believe that it's a little too soon. I believe there could have been another time where they may have visited that. You know what I mean? I think that having so many clouds around surrounding Kobe Bryant's death, and then the terrible fact that his baby was on that flight with him, I think that I possibly would have had more respect. That's my grandson. I don't think he's having a good time. Um, but I think I would have just waited. You know what I mean? I would have just said, hey, you know what? There'll be another time. There'll be another platform, another opportunity. We can chat about this later. But now let's just give some praise to what this guy has done. I mean, he set the Lakers on fire. And unlike any other basketball player, he stayed still for 25 years. I'm just saying there's so many things that they could have thought about to talk about other than going back to this very riddled case. I mean, this case had a lot of holes in it, even way back then. And I believe that as a journalist, she should have uh, pinpointed and planned her time better. Don't you guys think so? Let's see. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm so happy. I am so glad. I made a mistake and made somebody a mod thing. I didn't even know that button, that's what this button over here did. So whomever they are, I apologize. Oh, there you are. But Derek is awesome. It's okay. Hi. Yes, I am from Biloxi. Yes, yes, yes. From Philadelphia, Derek. You know what? I'm going to say hi to everybody. So we've got Loving It All. I hope I said that right. West Cleveland original. And we've also got Ms. Wonder Woman. Yes, I know that's right. Chef Disaster. And of course, none other than Derek C. Williams and my daughter. Oh well, hey, and it happened by accident too, right? But it's okay. I wouldn't trust anybody else to do it other than all of the folks that are in here right now. I mean, hey, it's a. But then again, if we were all mods, there'd be nobody. Who would you be governing? But anyway, I just believe that first of all, I do not believe that Black America was expecting for this public quote unquote lynching to come from Gail. Okay. I know those are some hard terms, but let's just be real. I don't think anybody was expecting that. Case in point, look at what she's experiencing now. And that's why I said earlier on, I believe that is, hey, Quentin Carter, new subby. That's awesome. I just don't believe that they were expecting it. I know I wasn't expecting it because as a grandmother and as a mother, I'm sitting here like, oh my God, what did she just ask her? And then kept pushing it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, at what point do you realize, you can feel when the spirit in a room changes. And I believe she's been doing this long enough to know they're not, the air has changed in here. I think Lisa Leslie held her own though. What do you guys think? Let me find out in the chat. How do you guys feel about Lisa Leslie's responses? Hello, Matthew T. How are you? Thank you for joining us tonight. I believe that Ms. Leslie handled it like a champ. Okay, I really do. But I still say that there are too many questions surrounding this young man's death. I believe that his wife deserved better. Oh, yeah, she was. She was. Yep, she was wonderful. I believe that, you know what? Hey, this man still has a wife. He's still got other children. He still has other family members. I do too. I honestly do. She could have. But you know what? I think that the way that she handled it was very well trained. I think that, her camp has taught her very well. And some of the answers that your camp does teach you are they can cross different lines. I mean, you can use them in any circumstance, right? So I just feel like right now, I would love to see us stop with the bill. What is this guy, the William, what is the guy with the pudding, the Jell-O pudding, what they did to him. That was so sad. Because you have so many different, circumstances surrounding it. There's so many different variables and answers, something that happened so long ago. But for them to bring this back up, let's see what we say. She didn't give the same energy to Oprah when she was on the morning show. She said she liked to see the rainbow in the sky about Harvey Weinstein. Hello? But you didn't say that about any of the Black men who has been accused. You know what? I feel like, how many of you guys were really into the news? Let's see, Leslie could have put her on the spot and said, what are your thoughts about Harvey Weinstein? Okay. And why don't you think anyone has reported on him? And then just sit there. Right? That's right. She sure should have turned the tables. I mean, you Lisa Leslie, she did a good job, but hey, this right here would have been just on point. It wouldn't have been anything that anybody else could have said. I feel like nobody is going to deal with the whole Weinstein thing. And do you notice how he's still out there being accused, but we haven't seen him go anywhere? Has anybody seen a trial? Am I just late? Has there been a trial for the Weinstein guy? I don't think so. I don't know of any trial. Has anybody? I don't believe so. But yet and still, we have seen a lot of people who have been accused other, genres of entertainment being hauled off and tossed away, no matter how long they had to wait. I mean, the whole R. Kelly thing was so painted and so terrible in a long time. Why is he untouchable? Baby, I guess that money, honey. Maybe that's why he's untouchable. You know what I'm saying? For me, Court TV covers it just a bit. Okay, he's indicted. Okay, really? Oh my goodness. Well, wasn't that sort of silent though, loving it all? Don't you think? Is it loving it raw? R-A-L-L? Oh, okay. I got the R-A-L-L. Okay. But don't you guys think that it was sort of quiet? Because with Bill Cosby, it wasn't quiet at all. I mean, they followed that poor man all the way until he couldn't see anymore. And did you guys know that one of the ladies in that particular situation, on the cover of that magazine where they had all of the alleged people who he had allegedly offended or touched or whatever, victims, did you know that one of those ladies was a woman he had an affair with for several years, a consensual affair? Who has another case? Bill Cosby, Chef Disaster. Are you kidding me right now? From who? I mean, where was a person over the last 10 years hiding under a rock or something? OMG. That's not nice. That's terrible. Wow. Wow. Oh, you're so welcome. Oh, really? Harvey. Okay. Sometimes when you got money and you look a certain kind of way, you can just do whatever you want to do, I guess. It's starting in Los Angeles. Oh, okay. All right. Well, you know what? I noticed a lot of these big stars, they love to jump on the bandwagon as soon as the person dies, especially in this situation with poor Kobe. Listen, let me cover a couple of points, and some of you may remember this, but do you guys? Yes, okay. Do you guys remember? That's the same statement. What am I tripping? Oh, wow. Really, Matthew? You think so? Wow. What do you guys think? Really? That would be terrible. Wow. You guys, let me ask you, do you remember back during this Kobe Bryant situation? Any of you guys can go online and see this. Although Wikipedia, in my opinion, is not a very good source. Here's an angle for your host, Jad Allen. Allen Iverson died tragically. They would have brought, really? A 2002 domestic violence dispute. It's just news to them. His body is still in the morgue. Those cowards had no questions for him. What? Yes, Kobe was high level. What? See how much I know? You see how much I know? You guys are telling me something today. But if you can remember back during that case, there were so many different unbelievable things. I know you're not supposed to assassinate the victim, but in this case, when you're fighting for your life, and in this particular situation, as Kobe would have been, you gotta get a lawyer who I believe is like a bulldog. And I already know I would have been a bulldog if I had the opportunity to be an attorney and to get down with it, because there were so many things. If you go back and you look at whatever is public that you can find right now, you will find a lot of character things there. So to me, it was a consensual situation. This is my opinion. It was a consensual situation that turned bad and didn't go the way she thought it would go the morning after. That's what I think. Let's see here. Is anything okay? Wow. They would bring up everything before Georgetown on Iverson. Oh, wow. Wow. I just feel like, personally, there was just so many things that was wrong with this young lady's story. It was just so many things. Now, you guys, whomever has been following me for any length of time, if you've been looking at any of my videos, especially my earlier videos, you will know that I am a woman's advocate, or a human being's advocate, as it relates to rape and sexual abuse and things of that nature. Because to me, to take someone's most private portion of their being without permission and force your will upon them, to me, that's the lowest that you can get. So I am not a person who does not believe in the victim. Conversely, I'm not a person who is just going to beat up on everybody who's been accused of some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Everything has got to have some facts behind it. And I read through that case, and I tell you right now, that was an amazing situation. If you just go back and look at the fact that this woman had another person's body fluids in her undergarments the day after she went to the hospital to complain and say this had happened to her, she had someone else's bodily fluids in her undergarments. I mean, we're women, right? For those of us who are women, Haley, for those of us who are women, wouldn't we all just go and immediately go? We wouldn't wait till the next morning. And if we did go the next morning, we would probably go with who? Mama and auntie, somebody that's going to help us get through. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's going to help us while we're there. Sort of help be that support system to us. But we certainly would not go the next day with our undergarments soiled with someone else. So that was a big question for me back then. And it's not to say that she doesn't have the right to do what she wants to do, but it certainly does sort of mar the water for me. It sort of muddies the water. I heard, are you kidding, Wonder Woman? 6? Oh, wow. I could see that, but I don't think it took that long for him to ignore her. He probably turned her. I believe so. I believe he probably did turn on her right then. It was probably, okay, be done with you. I don't know how many people, I know Derek, I know you're not really into the Bible, but I know that Lee is in here. Do you remember that situation that happened with Desiree Washington? Mike Tyson got railroaded. Washington's white boyfriend said that she did to him, okay, what she did to Tyson before Tyson. Oh, wow. So to me, it just seems like, I feel like a cat that's got as much money as he had, even back then. You got a lot of money, my brother. You don't have to snatch it when you can. People are throwing it at him. I was raised in Los Angeles. I'm a Southern girl, but I was raised in LA. Women would unhook it and throw it at a dude. You know what I'm saying? Just unhook it, snatch it, just throw it at him. Because they thought they were going to get somewhere. They thought. I remember being out in the club scene way years and years and years ago. But Lee, remind me of the scripture. I was going to ask you about that scripture, so I'll bring it up, about Absalom and I think it was Diana, where he had raped his sister, and after he raped his sister, he sort of threw her to the side. So that goes along with the last statement that was made about, just getting rid of her right after. He just turned on her right after. But I remember being in Los Angeles, and a lot of those women used to throw themselves. Back in the day, it wasn't like it is now, so she la la, so exclusive. You could go to some clubs in West Los Angeles, or you could go to Venice Beach back in the day, and you would see Michael, what is his name, a Magic, walking up and down Venice Beach with a couple of people, which we did. We saw Eddie Murphy at some nightclubs back in the day. Mind you guys, this is a long ago, right? And so it was not uncommon to see those kinds of people, and women threw themselves at these guys. So I don't understand the reasoning behind anyone having to accuse a guy, or I don't see why a dude would have to take it. Letter A, you got enough money if you wanted to buy it. Not that I condone it, but if you wanted to buy it, you could. All right. And B, if you wanted to do it, it would have to be, not raping her. But I feel like she could just say, hey, yeah, let's go. So for me, I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that, okay, let's see, it's sad when real victims aren't heard. Yes, but stories like this make it. Exactly, Quentin. That's exactly right. You hit the nail on the head. That is terrible. It's tragic that there are people out there that, letter A, well, what happened to the baby? There you go. There are people out there that this has happened. Hey, listen, both male and female. Okay, both male and females. This type of stuff is happening too. All right. And some people ever get hurt. Some people who are done like this by family members, that stuff will probably go to a grave unless you get like I did when I got in my early 50s. I said, okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm telling, because it was strangling me. Yes. Samuel. Yes. Mm-hmm. And didn't it say something about the sister? He raped his sister. He thought she was beautiful, Derek. He said he thought that she was beautiful is what it was saying. But then he took her, and after he took her, he threw her to the side. And I believe that was later when he hung by his hair. His hair was really, really long. And he was riding on the horse, and the ponytail was going back and forth, and then it hung him on a branch. I'm not sure, but I think that's what it was. But I think that right now that's part of the problem. So the whole Me Too movement has sort of backfired on a lot of people, because the people who should be investigated and put in trial and indicted, that's not happening. Those people should have already been in jail. They should have already been in jail. And I just think that for us, it is where we just sit back and watch it, and we all looking at each other like, if this was Bobo now, he would have already been in jail. If this person didn't have no money, he would have been in jail. That's how I feel about the Weinstein thing. I'm like, if he did not have no money, his rump would have already been in jail. You see, and it is an agenda. I agree with you, and I feel like right now it's everything is anti-man, and I don't understand that. Men are not bad people. Okay, the men are not always the bad person. Sometimes some women can be pretty cunning. I think that right now they are beating up on men, both white and black, but I am a black woman. So I only see it from that perspective as it relates to, just what affects me being a mother of, 5 sons and then having a load of grandsons. I think that right now they are doing men so wrong. You can't hardly see any commercials anymore that are geared towards men without them making an insertion dealing with a woman. And I believe that, you know what? Gender is what it is. I don't mind you being who you want to be and doing what you want to do. With your body, you can do whatever you want. But I don't believe that we have the right to bash men and to beat them up and to make them feel less than, because that's just not right. And I think that there are a lot of men who have been molested, who have been raped, who've been taken advantage of by their bosses or people in their lives. And nobody's there to defend them. What are we going to do? This whole woman movement thing, I get it. I get it. I get it. But what are you going to do, sister, when you don't have a strong man in your life? A lot of women say, I want a strong man. Then you get him, beat up on him, talk bad to him, talk down to him, you emasculate him. And then you say, I want him to lead. How can he lead when you in the way? You both can't be man. And anybody with good common sense would know that if somebody is already yelling, I ain't going to yell too. I'm not going to yell. If you already yelling, you already cutting up, you already acting crazy, you can have that. Somebody has to be the cooler head. And I believe that men are valuable. Men, listen, I have been a female entrepreneur for many years. That's why I did my critique video on Tyler Perry. You think that a homeless black man that made good would actually feature stories about black men. And then Quentin asks, oh, my grandson, men don't speak about rape or molestation. It's sad. And they go on to abuse. That's right. That's right, Quentin. Good point. Right? We don't have to tear down men, right? I mean, to tear any human being down is wrong. But I believe that a man has a good place. I'm not one of these women that say I don't need one. I'm not about to lie. I know there's a lot of women that say they don't need them, but it's a difference if you are living with your husband or your life partner, and you and your life partner are together, your husband and a woman, he dies, and then you say, well, you know what? I loved him so much. I don't want another man, and I don't need another man. If you believe that the man that you had was the pinnacle of all brothers and can't nobody touch him, I get down with you, sister. Okay, hats off to you. You feel me? I get it. And I believe that you're right. You don't need another man because you probably ain't going to find one that's as bad as the cat that you laid to rest. But the dodos of us, and I say us, master cosmetologist, I did hair for years. I've seen us sit up and say things in a beauty parlor. I don't need no man, but yet and still you eating with her husband and all the hairdressers. We all know what's really going on. You don't need no man that you can be accountable to, but you'll take somebody else's. Right? Let's see what we got. Men don't speak about rape. That's true. We talked about that. We don't. Wow, good point. Okay. He did make a good point. Tyler Perry is doing exactly the opposite of what the Bible says. Dressing up as a woman. Hello. If karma is real, we can see why men are being torn down today. For all these eons of abuse toward women in all areas, just a thought. Slave mentality, yes. Lee says Harvey Weinstein had a list of people he could take down with him. What? Y'all turning me on to some information. I didn't know that. But, I just believe that I will say this. There's nothing wrong with man or woman. It's only the philosophies that we allow ourselves to buy to. And I believe that both sexes should be submitted to one another in a relationship. They really should. I believe that there's nothing wrong with a wife taking care of her husband. That's love. When you love somebody, you take care of them. You do, you know? And I don't think there's nothing wrong with a husband taking care of his wife because that's love. Because when you love somebody, that's what you do. And that is submission. But it's a bad word. I said that in one of the audios that we did a while back, that it's just a bad word. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that we as Black folks got enough issues. We don't need to be riding on the coattails of everybody else who believes that, well, we got the rights to, dude, you got the right to get up and go to work. Or if whomever decides that they're going to stay home, if it's the husband or the wife, whatever works in your house, whatever rocks your boat, whatever floats your boat, that's cool, that's you. But whatever you do it kindly. Treat each other kind. What's the problem with treating one another kind? What is the problem? He's in a dress on. Now I understand the silence. All useless, pointless celebrity distractions for the masses. And it's sad, West Cleveland original, because you know what happens? Some of those lost people that are among the masses think that that's real. And that's how we end up having the issues that we have. You guys remember many, many years ago where the Black communities, prior to the whole bus riding, Rosa Parks thing, we had our own bus lines. You guys put a 1 in the chat if you guys can remember even hearing about it, that we as a community, Black folks, had our own bus lines. Does anybody remember that? Am I the only old person in the bunch? Okay, Chef Disaster. Yep. Okay. We had our own bus lines, you guys. And then as soon as we decided that we wanted to ride on someone else's bus, we threw ours to the side. I feel like we get a little bit of course, Black Wall Street was the gold standard for Black wealth in this country at one point. Very good. Thank you, Lee. Yes, it was. Yep, you remember too. We had communities where we had our own bus lines. We had our own meat markets. We had our own grocery stores. We had our own shoe shine shops, barbershops, more so. Now the barbershops and the beauty parlors are still a staple, but we had a whole lot more, you guys. We didn't just have the Black church. We had a lot of stuff. And somewhere along the line where people decided that they wanted to shake that up, there were a lot of situations that they came in and they pretty much said, hey, you know what? If you can't afford to do X, Y, or Z, Martin Luther King was once quoted as saying, he believed he integrated his people into a burning house. Come on now. I believe so too, you guys, because, you know, I have old pictures and all kinds of stuff of my great grandmother. And they were, of course, you know, everybody had bad times too, but they were all right. They knew where to go if they needed something. They had a true and honest community where they would put their dollar in that community and it would bounce a few times. It wasn't like now where there's no community to put it into. And then if you do go out and buy something, you have an issue where it's bounced once out of your pocket on your payday to some other community, and then you never see it again. And at that time, we had our own bus lines. Here's what I'm saying. It wasn't a problem with us saying, we want to ride your bus. But we should have said, no, we want our bus lines to come through your community so we can drop some of these workers and maids off, that you guys stop it at the foothills and don't let these folks come through. They would make our buses stop at a certain point, and then you pick up and go with the white buses. I would have said, no, player, you can keep your bus. We just want to be able to run through the neighborhood so that we can get our people where they need to go and keep that money in their pocket. But they didn't do that. They fought so desperately and so hard to be like their captors. Okay, just like their captors, that they just removed themselves out of the way. And I always felt like oftentimes that's our problem. You know, we have that. Somebody put in the chat, what is the name of that mentality where you begin to take on? Patty Hearst had it. Remember, where you begin to take on your captor's traits. You begin to empathize or sympathize with your captor. Let me see. We should have kept the name. Come on now, Lee. Yeah. The same goes with sports. That's what Lee was just saying. Colin Kaepernick kneel down shows you the powerlessness that we don't have. Black players today could form their own if they had the resolve. That is right. Stockholm, yes, sister girl, that is it. Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm. You know what? I think the Munchausen by proxy, though, isn't that the one where the mother hurts the baby or something? I know. I think it's the Stockholm syndrome. Yes, it's the Stockholm syndrome. You guys, that's what we have. We don't even really know, in all fairness, we don't even really know what our true belief structure was. We don't really know because we were being led by our captor. Now, one thing I do believe is that if we, on a small level, just begin to take over our little neighborhood or our little block, we used to have candy stores. Lee, remember the candy stores? Lee, are you in here? Do you remember the candy store? You would go down the street on the lane, and there was a little old lady, and you would buy candy. Yes, okay. We have both. We make ourselves sick and accept it. Yes. But we used to have that in our community where you would go down the street and you could always get yourself a pop in the summer. You can get some candy or some chili cheese fries or something, or chili cheese Fritos, or just junk. But you knew where to go if you wanted to get a snack. You knew where to go if you wanted to get your hair done. You knew where to go if you wanted to get your shoes done. You knew where to go. We need to start doing that again, you guys. Getting ourselves together and making ourselves have our own community. Do you think we could do that on our own block? What would happen if we just on our own block, you go get a license and you go get a license to do this, and then we all co-op together? I believe that if that started good enough and we really could stick together, we may have something. Now, it may not go the whole state, but I think it could be something for a community. What do you guys think? You think that would work? I don't know. It's worth a try though, right? I mean, before my grandchildren get older, I would love for them to be able to see a community like that. Because I remember being a little girl. Our community was so tight. Of course, I'm in my mid to late 50s, but I remember being a little girl. And you guys, I could not walk home after getting in trouble at school. I could not walk home without all the ladies up and down the lane sticking their head out the window. Gal, why you cut up like that? And then I get down to another way. Your mama said to call her when I saw you coming up the lane. And I'm going to call her right now. You should have known better than that, all the way to the house. I remember one time that I called my teacher a bad name because I was trying to prove to these other girls, they used to call me proper. And I was trying to be a bad butt. I was trying to prove to these other girls that I wasn't proper. I could cuss just like they could. And I called that man out his name. Child, what did I do that for? Those ladies wore me out all the way up the lane until I got to my house. And when I got to my house, my mama wore me out even more. And then when my daddy came home, he was a left-hander. He wore me out after that. And I never did that again. No, never did. But we were allowed to take direction from those that my mother did trust. You know what I mean? It wasn't any, don't say this to my daughter. Oh no, if they saw me doing something wrong, they would let me know. I'm going to tell your mama. And they would go tell her and I would be in trouble. So it taught us not to cut up when we got in public. Is what it did. It made us respect those elders. It made us respect people. You know what I mean? So a lot of times that's how we live. Now let's see. Every year stats come out. Okay, Wonder Woman said something here. Up here, I agree. We got to at least try. That's right. We got to put our best foot forward. Absolutely, I agree. We got to try. I always say we need to support Black-owned businesses. We people, yep. Put the money in our own community. That's right. Can you imagine what would happen if we did? Boy, oh boy. But Derek just mentioned Black Wall Street. Every year stats come out about the buying power of Black people. The question is, what are they buying and why aren't they pooling that money to build for themselves? You know what, Derek, you said something right there. You really did, because I remember hearing you earlier on an earlier live where you were talking about cryptocurrency. You gave me a couple of good tips on what I need to do with some of my money, and I'm going to try it. But you're absolutely right. Why don't we build for ourselves? It's a good thought. It's a good thought. It may just be a good feeling right now for all of us, but it is a good thought. And maybe if we chat about it enough, we'll put it in an atmosphere and that'll happen. Let's see. Wonder Woman. Sometimes our customer service makes it hard to support us. Hello. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. For me, Black people have a healthy distrust of themselves. If we are to engage in any business, we must have trust. Yes. Yes. We ain't got none. That's you're right. Our lack of trust. Yep. Would hurt, yes, our own abilities. We don't trust each other. Everybody's saying the same thing, you guys. Okay. Okay. Yes. Training. We were trained to be that way. We can train to be united. That's right. Hard truth, man. We have had our worst and best experiences. Come on now, tell the truth. To the key point to putting a community in slavery is to move a man. Come on now, that's what I'm trying to say. That's right, Lee. He said the key point to getting a community in slavery is to move the man out of the house. And that's an old principle. You guys know that, right? Anytime you think about somebody coming in to steal something, who they gonna look for? They're gonna look for the strong one. Get the strong one out. Even if you ever played the game of war, you want to take out the captains. So you want to take out the strong one. Nowadays, they're trying to make us the strong one. I don't want to be the strong one. I don't want to sleep by the door. Let him sleep by the door. We go to the hotel. And let him sleep by the door. I'll sleep on the other side. You take it first. But I'll tell you one thing. If somebody try to go after him, my husband or my boyfriend or the man that I'm with or whatever the circumstance might be at the moment, telling you right now, we're going to both go ham. Because letter A, that's a stranger. We don't know what that person's intentions are. So we both gonna be fighting. I'm sorry. I'm not like one of these women on me when you see the girl, oh no. And the man throws her off and starts beating up on her man. And you could think you're saying, pick up something, hit him in the head with the vase, do this, do that. She said, oh my God, no, sir. Not today. We all gonna be rolling around. Okay, let's see. I'm an investor in Jay Morrison's Tulsa Real Estate Fund, and Black people have been bombing on him. And he's clearly trying to help his people without scamming them. Wow. We're going to have to check some of these things out. I think that's a good thing. We should have like a little small symposium or something like that to get a whole lot of good people to come and talk together. You know, hey, how are you? Welfare in America is Black women's husband. You know what? You know what? That's exactly right. Get him out of the house. Yes, yes. They made it cool to have children without the father in the house. You know what, you guys? I'm so glad that there are still people like you guys that believe like me, because right now they have just shut us up. The people who it's like you sort of sit there by yourself sometimes and you're like, does everybody not see this? They're really just moving the man out and they're hailing the woman. But the woman, I don't mind being the weaker sex in strength, because I know that the strength that I have in my mind is for my husband, right? I don't mind. I don't mind. But look, the one thing about us is that when he's in a clutch, we got his back. But we weren't meant to lead that way, in my opinion. In my opinion, we were not meant or made or created to lead like that. We were meant to step in as a help meet, but not to do it all. I don't want to do it all. I don't. Okay, let's see. Dang, they need to allow us to like people's comments, okay? Because that's exactly right. Jada LaRue, that's right. That's the plantation playbook. Yes, sir. You're right, sister. Respect due. I agree with you, Derek. She did, because that's a very good statement that she applauded. But I really honestly feel like that is exactly what happened. Do you guys remember the old movie Claudine? Put a one in the chat if you remember Claudine. I remember that movie. And there was a scene in that movie where the welfare lady was coming and they had to hide everything in the house. that the junk man that she was dating brought in. Do you guys remember that? Yes, Derek, you remember that, don't you? It was Claudine. That was the name of it, right? The name was Claudine. Yes, yes, Claudine. It was Claudine. And she was a beautiful lady who had all these children. And there was no man in the house. But back then, I believe that's when they had made it AFDC. Yes, Claudette. Claudette. Yes. Okay. And so what would happen is every time the welfare lady was coming, and it was a white woman in this particular movie, they would have to run and hide the broken toaster or the broken blender that the boyfriend, who was a junk man or trash collector, had a very respectable job in that day, and he would bring her whatever was left on the side of the road or on the trash can and refurbish it and take it to her house. Well, she had to actually hide all of those things when the welfare lady would come, and she would ask, "Do you have any? Do you have a man? You know, do you have a man? Well, can I use your bathroom?" Stuff like that. Because just like Lee said earlier on, they would make it cool not to have that man. And they're going to give you money if you don't have that man. You don't have a man, they're going to give you money. All right. I'm going to tell you guys something. Back in the day when my kids were little, while we were stationed in Germany, and then when we left Germany and came back stateside, I could run my home. Although this was many years ago, I would compare it to like 120, maybe like $100, $120 a week now. But back then I could run my house on $60 a week because I had to. My husband was the only one working and we had young children. And now I don't know what it would cost if I had to do that because now I have to work. But at that time it was $60 a week. You could buy all the beans you needed, the rice, your staples. You know, you go every week and maybe you'll replenish the butter and stuff like that. But when you have a household where the husband is out there working and the mom is staying home, keeping the home, I mean, keeping it, like clean, keeping it. You know what I'm saying? Washing the clothes, having nothing in the hamper, keeping it. You feel me? I mean, really keeping it. Uh, you can afford to stay home. You can if you do it right. But nowadays, you gotta. There's, even with a two-parent household, it seems like nowadays the economy is so messed up sometimes. Excuse me. People feel like they have to go to work. But I believe that if you just trust the universe, that it'll all come back. And if you have to stay with your kids, stay with your kids. I have a grandson. I have two grandsons, and one of them in particular I'm thinking of has a disability, and he has um, it's a palsy. He has a cerebral palsy, and his mother is darn good. She is darn good. When I tell you that young lady washes that baby and takes care of that baby, both of my grandchildren by this young lady are clean every time you see them. Every time you see them. And it's not like it's an accident kind of clean. No, they are clean. She takes good care of that baby. She governs her pocketbook very well. Every time you see these children, they are nice and neat. She has little snacks and things, but she knows that nobody else could take care of my grandson like she does. And I praise God for that because she could be one of these people saying, well, no, I got to go. I want to make my own money and I want to have my own money to do what I want to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. You could always have your own money. But in this particular situation, he's not well enough for her to leave him with someone. Who knows if something would happen to him? So I'm just saying that to say that there are some young ladies out there that still do their thing. Let's go to some of the comments. Boy, them kids were helping her hide it all. Okay. And they had a little system going. They had a routine down. Yes, they did. Do you go along with the equal mentality that has occupied the minds of many of our people? Hard truth, man. You know what I believe? I believe that if something genuinely works in your relationship for you, then that's what you and your spouse go for. I don't want to be equal. Me personally, I only want to be for me. Okay. I personally only want to be equal in the fact that I'm a human being, but equal is not me pay half the rent, you pay half the rent. To me, I don't believe that. I believe that I'm equal in my ability to think, equal in my ability to speak, equal in my ability to praise my, the Most High. I believe that. But for me, I don't want to be equal to the man. I believe that we are both 100. He's 100 and I'm 100. It's not 50-50. I'm 100%. He's 100%. But I believe in roles. Now, see, that's where I probably get beat up a lot by people, because I believe that as a woman, I have a job. I was put here to do something specific. And I was put here also to help my spouse. You see? I know a lot of people like to quote that scripture, Proverbs 31:10-31. But did you know that that was a stay-at-home woman who had her own business? Read it again. You'll see. Read it again. You will see. Rap song encourage people to have children out of wedlock. Yep. Cerebral palsy. That's what my baby has. Yes. Cerebral palsy. Yes. Apologies. It is Claudette. Okay. Well, child, I don't remember. I thought it was Claudette too when you said it. Okay. Our man truth. Are you meaning equal with your mate or with the world? White man. Nothing is equal in a relationship. Okay. Compromise is in a relationship. Yeah. Equal with your mate, cause I highly doubt believe in that foolishness. I don't believe that I missed this time. We have certain roles. Listen, you guys, let me just say this. When you are on a football team, basketball team, or like they used to crack up laughing at me, because when I was in high school, I was on the badminton team. Yes, ma'am, I was. Yes, sir. You have a position. You only have a problem on that team as it relates to the positioning of the players when somebody is out of line and gets in somebody else's space. That is, what do you think that philosophy comes from? I believe that I don't mind staying at home, making sure that my husband has food, my grandchildren, or in this case, grandchildren, have a clean place to sleep, clean clothes. That's my grandson back there right now. And I'm letting my daughter learn how to handle that. Sometimes you just got to let them cry it out. But I believe that a woman has value. I think that what they did, if you notice how strategic it was, they did it on purpose. They started to attack the family like Lee Red Nation said. And that was, they started to attack the father in the family so they could remove him. Now that you got the man out the way, now you're really going for his seed. You're going for his wife and you're going for his seed. So I don't subscribe to it. When I was young, I was real stupid. I just had to push my way. Oh, I got to get a job. I got to go get a job. I can't stay out here like this. I got to go get a job. And I remember one point, my husband at that time would say, you don't need a job. I need you here. And I was like, oh, no. But honey, when I got with them older women, them older saints, baby, they jerked a knot in me right quick. After that, I set my tail at home and learned how to do business from home and was so happy because I still had an income. And I was still able to be where I was supposed to be. So, I think that it's important. Let's see. Your daughter has cerebral. Oh, God bless you too. I want equal respect. That's right. Equal ability to have an opinion. Come on now. That's right. Yes. And now let's see. We have to accept each other as individuals. Amen. That's right. What in the world is equal in that? Yes. Okay. Yes. Well, when will the men figure it out and stop running? Oh, what do you mean by that, Ms. Wonder Woman? It doesn't help that we don't have men around to show boys how to be a man. Mothers mean well, but they can't teach a boy to be a man. Bingo, that's the reason why they removed you guys out of the household. How about that? You see? Listen, women by and large are very easily manipulated. That's the reason why a salesman can come to the house and the husband is going to say, no, we don't need that Kirby vacuum. Get out of here. The wife will be like, well, come on in and take a moment and show it to me. The husband's like, no, sir. Why? Because he already knows I don't want it. But we want to see what it's all about. The woman can be a lot more easily manipulated. And that's the reason why we move by emotion. A man does not move by emotion for the most part. All right. And so, yeah, he's going to be able to tell things where where they need to, tell the wife and the household what things need to be done. When he's a normal man, I'm not talking about somebody going upside somebody's head, you guys. All right. But yeah, that's why they got you guys out the way. They got y'all out the way so that they could get to your sons. So there would not be any strong men. You guys, that's the reason why I tell women all the time, if you can help it, get yourself someplace and pray about how you can deal with the situation in your marriage. I don't mean getting beat upside the head, y'all. I'm saying if it's just a matter of the wills, get yourself someplace and ask God to check you. Because yeah, we can tear our house up real quick. We really can. I'm gone and I'm leaving. I already know. Been there, done that. Yeah. Our mouths get us in a lot of trouble. And then we get so prideful, some of us women, not all. Some women are very good. Probably some of the women in the chat are very good. But there are some of us who had to go through hard knocks. Okay? Get yourself someplace and pray. And that's the reason why a lot of our sons are not healthy when they get in relationships. Because the woman or the man or both have decided they'd be better off apart. And then now that they're apart, there's nothing but society, the television, the media to teach him how to be a man. So what we're seeing right now is a direct result of allowing the culture of today, the commercials of today, to teach our sons and daughters to a point how to be what they're supposed to be. Let's go to some of these here. It doesn't help the men around. Ezekiel, we said that because this whole masculine energy being toxic is clearly insane. And as a divorced man, the dating world has become okay. Yes. Hard. You know what? Hard truth, man. You guys, did y'all see what he just said? Yes. Men have to do what Coretta did. Step it up and step in. Okay. The good men multiplying themselves. Derek C. I have a daughter and I refer to her mama on female issues. Read up on stuff. Yep, there you go. You got to equip yourself, right? Hey, Donna Daly. They can only get the men out of the way by consent. Black people need to stop blaming others and own their responsibilities for their issues. You know what, Donna Daly? I'm going to have to say, I agree. And I'm going to add a codicil to that. Okay? Here's what I'm going to add to that. In our community, we have always had a thing where we will trust others more so than we'll trust folks in our own neighborhood, right? And I remember back in the 50s, it was during the 50s. I remember hearing my mama tell the story about how in the 50s they would run around and they would let people know that for you who don't have a husband in the house, we're going to give you X amount of dollars. And so what ended up happening was already making nothing. So for those folks who didn't have a man in the house, they were making a little bit of extra money. And just like Lee said earlier, that became the husband, those food stamps and all that stuff. I want to say this. It is very difficult for someone who has not had knowledge of something to, in the situation, now have knowledge. So everything that we deal with is relative and attached to something else, right? You guys understand what I'm saying? So for me to tell Betty Boop, you know what, Betty Boop, you need to just quit whining about that and get over it. Well, Betty Boop's pain is attached to something that's relative to Betty. And even though I'm strong, and even though I've been able to do it, I gather my strength from what my dad taught me. Okay? I gather my strength and my intellect from my dad, my stepfather. He raised me since I was a little bitty baby, little girl, and I gained my strength from what I was taught, how close I was to him, right? So I can't expect for anybody else to have my mindset because Our mindsets are relative to where we come from and what we have experienced. And by and large, and as a whole, there was a concerted effort to deter us. It was an effort. Some people it worked on, some people it did not work on. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what else we have here. Hello and good evening. So I just believe that, you know, um, the whole family has gone directly bonkers. Hello, little man who's been crying. The family has gone bonkers. Our nation has gone bonkers. Um, and it really it's going to take a lot for us to get stuff back the way that it was. You know, where we're talking about the parents and the families being the way they were. All right, the next topic that I want to talk about today is and I know one of my friends in here. He said I don't do politics, and I don't do politics either. I want to ask, and you know what? Here's the thing. I know that people say don't talk about politics, but here's the deal. How about we just realize that as humans we have specific rights, and that as humans, no matter what side of the fence you're on, that we be able to stand up for what is true, what is honest, and what is pure. How about that? And I think that once we start to do that, we will see a lot of differences in this world, at least as it relates to us. There's a lot of stuff that just happened recently, and I am going to reserve that for my next upload. So I'm not going to say anything about it, but I just feel like, hey, you know what? We really need to pray for our country as a whole. Doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. This is not about that. Pray for the leadership that you got around you. Pray. We got to pray for everything. I mean, it doesn't matter who you believe in. I'm just saying you need to send up a prayer because we all need it. And this is our country. You know what I'm saying? It's our country and we got to pray. So we talked about Kobe Bryant. We talked about the whole welfare mentality and how it has affected, especially the Black community. You know what? Let me add something to that. I was always the type of person who went to work. You guys all went to work. All of us usually get up and go to work. And most of us didn't want anything. Most of us wanted to get up and work and take care of ourselves. Most of us. And I'll just add that to that last bit of the conversation. How about that? Is there anything else, anybody, that we need to cover? Because I said, hey, let's chat. I'm going to get off here in about 3 minutes. But what did we forget to talk about, y'all? Is there anything that anybody wants to add to the pie today? Throw a topic out. Just throw it out there. Excuse me. Well, I think, let me read this here just so that we can get ready to go. La 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 la. La 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 la. No, nothing else. I don't think there's anything else. If everybody's hearts and minds are clear, we're done. But I will just say that I appreciate each and every one of you guys. God needs to get back in school. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. I remember that when I was a little kid, the teacher could give us a whooping. So I would have to say from my era, again, you guys, everything is relative. We need some switches, but I think we're already past that point because the parents aren't doing that because they took the authority from the parents to be able to spank the children. And then there is no more. Oh, you guys, I don't want to get into Lee's because Lee Red Nation, he goes in depth on a lot of the stuff, and I don't really want to get on his toes, and I don't really want to say some of the stuff that he may be planning to talk about. But you know, I feel like, yeah, let's just be real. Let's be real, you guys. Let's just be honest. When we were little, we could pray in school. We were a stronger community. We were. And I think that sometimes we get to the point now where we get so politically correct that we feel like if we say the truth, we're going to offend somebody. I don't mean to offend anybody. You know what? If the truth offends, I'm sorry. Right? You guys, whatever it is that worked back then, The principles are the same. The principles are the same. Principles don't change. The principles are the same. Yeah, it just might work. But I believe that our government has gone so far now that what rights? Who, you guys, I don't want to get on this because I tell you right now, if I get on this, we could be here all night long. But we did. No, I'm still here. I got a whooping. Okay, you all right, Wonder Woman? If you can't say amen, say ouch. That's right. But I just feel like back in the day when we wanted, when we all as a community, everybody, it didn't matter, you guys. We all knew how to behave. We knew how to behave. We had fear. We had holy reverence. We had reverence of those around us that were older than us. You know what I'm saying? Barring the people who may have abused us sexually or whatever. Barring all of that, because everybody's gone through something like that. And if they haven't, somebody in their family they know of has. So I'm not talking about that. But I'm saying the fact that back in the day when I was a little kid, if you cut up 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, you was in the principal's office and you was getting a SWAT. All right? You were getting a SWAT. Hello. King Jai's in the house. You guys, we were getting a SWAT. We used to get our butts whooped. And if you got your butt whooped, you knew the next time you went back to school after they gave you that suspension or whatever you had to take, you knew not to cut up like that again. You knew how not to cut up like that again. Period. That's it. So I think that you're absolutely right. Disabled vets perspective. We did get our butts whooped. And it didn't hurt, but it did mess with our ego. Okay? It messed with our ego and it got us together. It put us together. Yeah, we got together. And so I want us to all, this is really, really prayer. My prayer is that we don't see the color and that we don't see the cultural differences that the color brings, because that's a given. That is a given. My desire is that we see things from the human standpoint. And when we see ourselves going in the other direction, we pull ourselves back because it is a given and it is natural for us to see color. There's no way that you can see me and not see my color. Now, you may wonder about my ethnicity. You may wonder, what am I? Because I've been asked that. Okay. I'm Native American and I've got some Black and I've got some Irish. Okay. But you should see me as a human being first. And then, above all, I am an American woman. Excuse me, I'm a Native American woman. So now that I have blood that runs through my vein, and if we got the same type and you needed some help, and I needed to give you some, if that's what you believe in and that's what you need, I could give you some. That's where we need to all start getting our minds to be. We do have cultural differences. There is no doubt about that. There is no doubt that there are some foods that I like that you might not like. Then again, people within my culture that don't like the same foods that I like. I like peach cobbler. I got my oldest son who'll be 33 here pretty soon. He doesn't like it. Same culture, different tastes. So it doesn't have anything to do with that. Okay? It has everything to do with the fact that but what we all need to do right now is to pray for our country. Okay? I don't care who you are. I don't care what side of the fence you sit on. Pray for our country, y'all, because we really need it. We really do need it. We're going through some stuff. We really do need it. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I'm going to read these before we go here. Yep, we got a village whooping. We were just talking about that earlier, Donna, where if I had cut up in school all the way down the lane, everybody knew. You are Apache. All right. Okay. God made variety, and that's a good thing. Hello. That's the point. But you guys know what they're doing right now is they're dividing us and they're making us think that we hate each other. I mean, I was at the bank one day. Bye-bye, baby. Grandmother's doing a live. He wants to give him that chicken.
I'm trying to feed him.
Well, he don't need no help. That boy can eat. Get that chicken. Go ahead on, boy. Get your chicken. Take that barbecue. Give him a piece. Give him a leg there. But I'm just saying, I forgot what I was saying, messing with this baby, you guys. But to be honest with you, just in a nutshell, just to put a cap on it, Variety is good. That's right. But right now, we all need to pray for our country because this is the only country that we have. And unless we all plan on getting up, moving, and going someplace else, this is going to be the only country we got, right? So we do need to pray. We do need to pray for the president. We do need to pray for the people who have rule over us as it relates to the legislative arms of things. We do. We do. We have to, you guys, because if we don't pray, ain't no telling what's going to happen. You think the last couple of months have been something? We got to pray. Pray God's best. How about that? And I don't care who you believe in. Well, to a point. but we do. We seriously do. We have to get in it. And if all you know how to do is give out a positive thought, then think positive. Whatever it is that you can do that's in that vein, let's do it. Right? So you guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so very much for tuning in. It has been awesome. I'm so glad I got my computer up and running. You guys are absolutely outstanding. I like small, little, intimate groups like this. Having been a public speaker, speaking in auditoriums where there was a massive amount of people, I always liked the smaller settings. The next time that we come together, one of the topics that we hit on tonight, we're going to be talking about that next time. I'm putting together a lot of information about this particular topic, and it is about the silence of the men who, when they're young, they get abused, sexually abused, and then what happens to them. If you go back to some of my early videos, there's a few people who made comments, and then I even made comments about the fact that, no one is saying anything about that. And I think that's where we get a lot of the fracture in some of the men these days, because they don't have anybody. They're always told to stand up straight and talk, and be strong or whatever, but nobody ever goes in to heal them. And I think that's part of the reason why we now have so many wounded men, is because nobody helped them. There was nobody there to talk to them. So I think that bringing that to the forefront, dealing with it, will help us get to a better place. And I think that as a community of human beings, that we just deserve, we owe each other that. We owe that to one another. We owe that to lift each other up, think the best about somebody. When we're going to think something negative, take that thought out of our mind and lift each person up. That's so important, because it does start with each one of us. Do you know that, I'm going to tell you this and we're going to get off. Do you know that your energy is so supercharged that you can feel it when you come into a room? Did you know that? Your energy is so important that you literally can feel it. You can feel that energy when you come into a room. If it's good energy, people pick up on it. If it's bad energy, people pick up on it. So we need to send that good, positive stuff out there and pray that the Most High will just bless and make sure that we get our land healthy and taken care of again. All right, let's see. I'm going to read these and then we're going to go. Oh, thank you so much, Disabled Lit. I love you so much. It's just important, you guys. Yes, that's right. Hard truth, man. That's right, you guys. Yes. Okay, everybody. You guys, thank you guys for coming back with me since we had that problem in the debacle in the beginning. Good night. You guys be blessed, and let's do this again really soon. But remember what we're going to be talking about again in the future. And that is going to be the fractured man. Okay. All right. You guys take care, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.